I'm Jesse May. We're here at the Premier League Playground Poker Club in Montreal. The sharpest dresser has to be Phil Locke. Now, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I just love his outfits. They should really set up a phone booth, I kind of think, behind the table where Phil gets to go in and just kind of like, change his getup. I mean, we love the ski goggles, but really, the ski hat was sublime. I don't even know where you get one of those things. The craziest prop bet that I've heard of so far had to be the one that everyone came in this morning buzzing about. And apparently, Antonio Esfandiari, who never, ever loses a prop bet, he said to the Jungleman that he would bet him $30,000 that the Jungleman couldn't stand outside in the cold shirtless for 20 minutes. And, Antonio was positive that it would be endangering the Jungleman's health. And the Jungleman just snap did it. And apparently he was prepared to go for like twice as long. So this morning when they came in, Antonio, who had lost $30,000 the night before, was on super tilt. And the Jungleman just couldn't stop giggling. The superpowers out there, you've got to go back to Phil Locke, who's, he seems to have the power of what he calls morphic resonance. And I don't really know what it's about. I mean, he seems to be able to understand how the universe conspires to help him play poker. And like, if you watch Phil Locke's poker game, you can only assume that he's got it. You've heard that I can dance? I don't know who told you that. What? Who told you that? I can't dance and I can't sing. Well, I'm like most other people. Give me a few shots of vodka and I can do just about anything. What? I really can't. I've got dancing shoes, but I do not dance. I'm the kind of guy, that, how there's always one guy who's too drunk on the dance floor and everyone kind of backs away from him and makes a circle. I'm that guy. My 3 fundamental poker tips: pay close attention to everything Antonio Esfandiari does and immediately discount anything Phil Locke does. That would be number 1. Number 2, don't really sit down with the big boys unless you're prepared to man up to them. And number 3, never open your mouth at the poker table unless you know what you're going to say. My best bluffing tip? My best bluffing tip is have it. No, my best bluffing tip is don't ever bluff someone before you've cured them of calling first. It never works out for me. It never works out for me. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Honestly, before you put a bluff down, always be sure how long the guy is going to make you sit in the tank and if you're prepared to sit there for a while. Because some people will put you on the stew pot and, you've got to man up. If I could go back in time and tell my future self a few lessons, they're not always trying to bluff you. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is, when the game is good, keep on sitting there. Well, there's all these guys, they say, they should lay down kings pre-flop. They've never laid down kings pre-flop. They almost laid down queens pre-flop. I've never laid down the jacks pre-flop. I don't know what everybody's talking about. I get 2 cards over a 10, and I want to see what you have.